what was funny is, like that putting a forged instrument into the public. The only one who witnessed the policeman coming onto his property, onto his family's farm, was a white farmer named, that I call Farmer Charlie, the man that gave me the dog because he didn't have any money. Farmer Charlie was the man who was given like 20 commands to fix up his farm. And Farmer Charlie said, if I try to comply with the county's orders, it'll bankrupt me. He said, I have no money to fix up my farm in the manner that the county wishes of me. So I told Bolly, just go down to the council and tell them, place it in the form of an order, and you'll carry them out. And they were like, but wait a second, he'd need like a million, quid to carry them out. I said, don't just do what I say, okay? Go down there and tell them to put in a form of an order. And so when they went down there, the council refused to put in a form of an order. They said, well, it's not really an order. We're not ordering Farmer Charlie to do anything. We're just recommending that this is what he does.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean recommend? Yeah. Recommend? You mean like recommend I brush my teeth twice a day? Recommend? Like no Englishman brushes their teeth twice a day. So what do you mean recommend? That's just, I knew you'd get that joke. So what do you mean recommend? So it's like, that's what we mean. I said, well, look, I told them as soon as they put it in a form of an order, Farmer Charlie start carrying out the orders, and as you're carrying out the orders, you do order one. You do the easiest order that costs maybe 100 quid. You go down to the county and said, look, this cost me 100 quid. Pay me for carrying out this order, and I'll carry out the other 19. And as you're paying me, I'll continue to carry them out. And if it's too expensive for me to carry it out, I'm going to ask for a deposit of funds so I can hire other people in the community to help me carry out your orders. Like I'll hire contractors and subcontractors to help me carry out your wishes and your orders. And he said they all just went away. And then as soon as that's on episode like 81 on my Talkshoe, and he's like, he says, Carl, once I seen that worked for Charlie, he says, I got to have you out here. I got to have you over here. I've got to have you show me what to do. So I said, okay, I don't really want to go to England, but okay. There's nothing really to me over there. It's rainy weather and it's wintertime. It's like, there's nothing really over there. So what was funny is, like I said, he told me, I said, look, but I got a farm over here. I got animals. I got to worry about the pipes and everything freezing, the water, and the animals getting water. And I said, I could only be there for a short time. So he said, okay, I'll book your flight from like the 17th to the 23rd. So I said, okay, 6 days. That's not bad. I could do that. So when the 22nd came up, I started packing. And I said, okay, well, they were taking things very relaxed and very slowly. I said, what's going on, guys? Why are you moving so slow? And it's like, we got plenty of time. It's like, okay. So on the 5th day, I started packing. And they're like, what are you doing? I said, I'm getting ready to go home tomorrow. And he said, what? I said, yeah, from the 17th to the 23rd. Tomorrow's the 23rd. And he's like, do you think it was November 23rd? Oh, no. It's December 23rd. No, you're going to be here for 5 weeks. I said, So again, you're trying to trick me by telling me 6 days, and you didn't say, no, it's 5 weeks. And I said, look, buddy, I'm not stupid. I got enough money in my pocket to take a taxi to Heathrow and fly home right now. I said, look, you got to stop this nonsense with me. I said, look, when you talk to me, you talk straight up. No double talk. No, did I forget to tell you I was also charged with this? Oh, did I forget to tell you it's 5 weeks, not 6 days? Oh, did I forget to tell you? I said, you got to stop being this slick. It's a lifestyle. If you keep doing this slick stuff, lifestyle, it's going to mess you up in court. You're never going to get it. You've got to tell it to the guy straight up. You tell me literally, this is what it's going to be. Express, you've got to make it expressed, not implied. I said, you're being vague and you're implying things. I said, so what you're doing is, when you go to court, the judge is going to see you're a dishonorable man. You can't play this way. You've got to be straight up. So what happened is when we got to court, Farmer Charlie was put on a stand. And Farmer Charlie was read his affidavit by the Crown Prosecutor. And the Crown Prosecutor said to Farmer Charlie, did you write this? And Farmer Charlie's listening. He's like, yes, I wrote this. And then the prosecutor started saying, did you write this? And Farmer Charlie said, no, I didn't witness that. I didn't say that. I didn't see that. I didn't write that down. He says, well, who did? Who tampered with this affidavit? Who modified your affidavit? He says, honestly, I don't know. He says, all I know is Bolly asked me to write out what I saw, and that's what I did. He says, now whoever exaggerated and whoever, who just, embellished what happened, he says, I did not write that. He says, are you sure you didn't write that? He says, because it says right here that you signed it. He says, look, I didn't sign it. And he said, well, who's these other two people who witnessed you signing it that day? He says, I've never met those people. So then I got so embarrassed sitting next to Polly. It's like, oh, my God, this guy he just committed perjury. He committed fraud on the court. He trespassed on somebody else's case. I was like, oh, my God. You know, in the United States, you're going to jail for something like that, buddy. Did you change that man's affidavit? You cut, copy, and paste? Did you just lift and then change it and make it and then have people witness it and then bring it into court and swear that it's true? I said, do you realize what kind of trouble that you could get Farmer Charlie into by doing that? So then it was funny. The prosecutor tried to say that Farmer Charlie was involved with it. And Farmer Charlie went bananas. He's like, look, all I know is I wrote a story of what I saw that happened that day when the policeman jumped over the fence. That's all I wrote. Now, where all this other stuff came from, I have no idea because I didn't see the policeman doing all this other stuff. He says, how could I? I was on my phone. I don't know what he was doing over there. He says, I didn't follow him, but I know what I saw, and this is what I saw. And how the rest of the story got on that paper, I have no idea who put it there. So he didn't say, well, Bali must have put it there. At least he just said, look, Farmer Charlie was the perfect witness saying, I don't know who did it. But I know I didn't see that. I know I didn't put it there. And how it got on that paper is beyond me.
Yeah.
So then I'm thinking to myself, I was so embarrassed, sit next to him. I was like, holy cow.
Right. Carl, I've been told that odd law is on the order.
Okay. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. First, he's telling me that I'm only supposed to be there for 6 days, and I'm there for 5 weeks. Then he tells me that he's only got one charge of harassment because he's just this poor little Punjabi being picked on. And then we go to court, and he's changing people's affidavits to make it look like the cop is really crazy. And I'm like, dude, you got to let the judge decide if this cop was crazy. You can't embellish the story. You weren't there, and you can't change Charlie's testimony to make it sound better for your side to win. You can't do this stuff. You can't exaggerate. You can't do it. You just got to tell it as it is, because the story as it was perfect. The story the way it was, the man was totally in the wrong. There was no reason to make it seem worse than it was, because you had him. You had him until you did what you did with the witness's statement. You can't do that. So like I said, and I just want to finish up with that real quick too. It's like with this dictionary nonsense thing. I Googled the dictionary. All he did was like how he just cut, copy, and pasted Charlie's statement. He cut, copy, and pasted my dictionary that I gave him to translate it into Punjabi, whatever language he wanted to, and he just cut, copy, and pasted it and said it was his. I was like, look, I spent 3 years writing that thing. You didn't spend 5 minutes writing that thing. And you're just going to cut, copy, and paste it and sell it for $150? And what was really bad is that he was telling people months ago, and if you go back to the old talk shows, that nobody was donating to us and nobody was buying any DVDs or books. Well, they were. But what he did is he canceled the orders. He was telling people to cancel the order and have them go through his website instead. So that way he didn't have to share any money with me. So that's why Bali disappeared from the show. So that's it once and for all. If anybody knows one, I put it on the website. The man from England sent me the emails that Bali told him to stop the payments to Call and start making the payments to him. Don't donate to Call, donate to him. You want the books, donate. Go through Bali's page, don't go through Call's. So we put that's on the website now. It's on broadmind.org, and then underneath there, put Bali's response to what happened last week when I just said, look, you know what? If you're going to just cut, copy, and paste my stuff and sell it, and don't give me a dime, you know what? I'm going to just give it out for free then, because it's mine. You're like, yes, you might have actually put a piece of tape on it on the pages and called it a book. You put a piece of duct tape on it and calls it a book. But all you did was cut, copy, and paste my work that I gave you that you're supposed to translate for me. That's what the agreement was. So like I said, when he tries to tell people that he spent thousands to get Call over here, he spent thousands to keep him and his friends, his buddies, his family from going to jail and being, fined, tens of thousands of dollars, because when I went back there in July, I said to him, look, I am not going to help you with the parking ticket. I'm not going to help you with the court case about you putting a caravan on your farm. You're going to have to do that on your own because it's so simple. It's so easy. You guys could do it so fast it's not even funny. That you're going to have to do on your own. Well, him and his dad did it on their own. They were found guilty so fast. The judge was beating up on them. The jury was laughing. And they got fined 100,000 pounds for parking a caravan on their farm, which is 150, 170,000 U.S. dollars. So obviously, the judge reduced it to 10,000 pounds if he paid it within 2 weeks. If not, he was going to get thrown in jail and everything else. So his dad was ready to write out a check. And I said, no. It was funny because I was just laughing my ass off the whole time the trial. He must have been thinking, what's so freaking funny? My dad just got fined like 10,000 pounds. Well, first it was 100,000, and he dropped it down to 10,000. I said, dude, you still really believe that this court has any power over your property and could order you to pay any damn thing? He's like, yes. He said, if they don't, they're going to throw my dad in jail. My dad's like shit in pickles. He's scared. I said, look, tell your dad to relax. We'll have a good dinner. And look, when it comes to time to paying these people, I'll explain to you how to do it. So when I explained to him how to do it, he's like, holy crap. We came back the next day, and the lady's like, the case is gone, the fine is gone, everything's gone. I was like, ain't that like magic? But you guys were shitting pickles because they were just doing nonsense again in the court. It was just like, it's telling them that you don't speak English and you speak English. It's like, oh, Jesus, you're answering the questions faster than the translator's telling you in Punjabi. It's like, oh, Jesus. You guys are looking crazy out here. Just play it straight. Just tell them it's your damn property, that's your damn minivan, caravan, and I'll park it wherever damn I well want. Until some man comes forward and says that with a claim. Not a complaint, a claim that they've been harmed because where I parked the damn thing. And I said to him, I said, didn't you notice when the judge was done and he fined you, fined your dad, didn't you notice he didn't tell you, and move that damn caravan off that damn farm, and I mean now. No, he didn't tell you to move the caravan, did he? He's like, no, he didn't. That's right, because he can't tell you what to do with your property. And he's like, oh, yeah. So like I said, it's a lifestyle. Going out of court, and this is what I'm trying to tell you, Mo, because I think you're 90% the way there. When you go to court, it's a style. It's a lifestyle. You've got to be straight up with these people. Don't embellish things. Don't make it sound bigger than it is. Just hit them straight up. I mean, what you did with that assault case with that guy was fantastic. I mean, you just hit the judge straight up.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, when I read that, I was like, oh, my God, this is almost like me looking at me doing this because this is what I just straight up, boom. You're like, who are you? It's like you said, I'm a man. I'm here to aid my friend. And the judge said, no, you're not. And he said, what? What part of that isn't true, that I'm not a man? I'm not here to aid my friend. I was like, he's got it. This guy's got it. He knows. You know to take the words literally. When that judge is saying that to you, you know how to make it literal.
Yeah.
And now it's fantastic. And it's like I said, and for the longest time, like I said when I first went over there, he said, look, he said, this is what I try to tell people on my show all the time, like the Jewish people can't turn a profit over their fellow Jew, but if they can do it to everybody else, to the Gentiles, they could charge 1,000% usury, and they can make a $2 object be worth $20 million. But if a Jew asks his fellow Jew, give me it at the price that it cost you, he has to. So, I mean, I understand that culture. I mean, I understand the Punjabi culture. So when he says, look, you're just a white man, you're English, we hate the English, we wish you all just die, and if you mess with us, I'll just slit your throat and throw you out in the street like a dog. And the same thing happened when I had to hit him in court. He says, look, you hit me in court, and if you tell anybody on your show, I'm going to have to exact revenge because a white man can't hit a Punjabi and get away with it. So he says, if you tell anybody, I'm going to have to exact revenge on you, which is like slit my throat like a dog and throw me in the streets. But I had to start telling people that's because you guys have to understand. You don't, like you did just a little while ago, you told your friend a million times, don't answer the judge, don't look to the judge, don't respond to the judge.
Yeah.
And this is why when people say to me, Paul, can you come to court with me? And I go, if I do, I can't sit next to you. It's like, why? Because I'm going to hit you. But I'm going to hit you for your own good, because as soon as I think you're opening your mouth, I'm going to slug you. As soon as I think that you're looking at them, I'm going to hit you. It's for your own good. It's like if you were my child and you were running out in traffic and I seen you going to get hit by a car and the only thing I could reach was the top of your head and I pulled you onto the sidewalk by your hair, people say, did you just pull your son by his hair onto the sidewalk? Yeah. You're damn right. Why? Because he was going to get hit by a car. It's like, I didn't see no car. Don't you worry why I pulled him by his hair. I pulled him by his hair for his own damn good. Don't worry why I hit him. I hit him for his own damn good.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, so it was funny when I went to Canada with Catherine and Joe to help them, I stood at the back with the bailiff, and, you know, they were like, why don't you come up here with me? I said, because if you or your wife say something, I'm going to hit you. And if your wife says something and you see me hit your wife, you're going to hit me and I'm going to hit you, and we're all going to go to jail.
Yeah.
I said, so it's best for me to stay in the background, and you guys have to control yourselves. And that's what happened with Catherine and Joe. I said to them, whatever you do, as you're leaving the courtroom, just ask the judge and the Crown a very simple question. Just pick up the complaint, the complaint against you, their case, where it says Her Majesty the Queen, or it says the Crown, and just say, and just turn around and say, oh yeah, by the way, before we leave, yes, that's my name. My name is Joe, and this is Catherine. Yeah, can you tell me, Her Majesty the Queen, will she be appearing? Who's Her Majesty the Queen? I don't think I've ever met. I don't think, you know, I don't think I know who you're talking about. Who's Her Majesty the Queen? Is she going to be appearing? And the poor Crown barrister, prosecutor, he didn't know what to say. The judge didn't know what to say. And he said, I guess it's the Her Majesty the Queen is the monarch of Canada. I mean, there's no such thing as a monarch of Canada. If you said a monarch of the United States, we'd all think it's a butterfly. You know, we got monarch butterflies over here. There's no monarch of the United States. So she said, oh, Queen Elizabeth. That's what I thought. And I was like, oh, Jesus. I said to the bailiff, she's in for a fight of her life. And he was like, what? Because now she just recognized the plaintiff. She just brought the plaintiff to life. She's the one who now says, okay, I understand who the plaintiff is.
Yeah.
If you just say, who's Her Majesty the Queen, and then especially if you lose in court in a Crown case, and you see Her Majesty the Queen, and you go up there to pay the fine, and say, okay, I write this out to Her Majesty the Queen. It's like, oh, no, you just write it out to the Crown. It's like, wait a second. Again, who's Her Majesty the Queen? Do I write it out? And like I said, they'll say it's Queen Elizabeth. And it's like, oh, okay, so I just write it out to Queen. I just write it out to Elizabeth Mary Windsor. So I just write it out directly to her. You know what? I think I'm going to write out my check directly to Elizabeth Mary Windsor, and then that way I know she got the money.
Yeah.
Because when you're saying Her Majesty the Queen is Elizabeth, well, I'm going to. And wait a second. Before I send it to Elizabeth, you know what? I don't think Elizabeth ever sent me a bill. You know what? Tell Elizabeth to send me a bill that I owe her 10,000 quid.
Yeah.
And I'll send her the check as soon as I get a receipt from her. As soon as I get a bill, and I can prove that, you know, she ordered me to pay it, and I paid it, then I'm going to want a receipt. Watch how fast it goes away.
Yeah, we'll do.
Because I will guarantee you, every time you guys get dragged into a UK court, it's going to say, like, Coventry Council, or it's going to say Rugby Council. It's not going to say Her Majesty the Queen.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to say, or the Department of Motor Vehicles, whatever you guys got going on over there, or inland tax. You know, it's not going to say Her Majesty the Queen. It's like, okay, when you lose an inland tax case, who do you write the check out to? They're going to say, oh, just write it out to the Crown. What do you mean write it out to the Crown? What do you mean write it out to the Bar Association? What do you mean write it out to the attorneys? What are you talking about? Shouldn't I write it out to inland tax? You know, didn't they just beat me in court? They say, oh, no, just write it out to the Crown.